Hello YouTube, and today I have another video for you guys. I was on vacation, so that's why I didn't have a video for 3 or 4 days. But let's get started. The card we're going to be talking about is the card Mindgames. Now I know what you guys are thinking. This is a shit card. In reality, it kind of is, but in this meta right now, it actually is pretty mediocre, I would say. It's actually pretty good, because we're in a control-ish meta. I brought this deck to rank 4, and then I face hunted my way back to rank 7, and I'm not going to push for legend this season because I already did it last season, but maybe next season I will. So how did I get to using mind games? Well, at first I was fighting lots of control and aggro. Not lots of aggro, but a sprinkle of aggro, lots of control. So 2 Holy Novas weren't really cutting it here. Holy Nova is actually kind of weak in this meta, and also for the aggro, it wasn't really the AoEs, but the turns up to the AoEs that really decided the game, even if I did have the AoEs. And in control, Holy Nova really wasn't doing much. And then I tried an Excavated Evil, and the same thing happened, except for in control, again, it helps them in the fatigue, if we ever got to fatigue. I tried a Wild Pyromancer, not enough spell synergy or enough, you can't really pull it off in the time spans that you're supposed to, for this deck at least. I tried to Entomb, another one which was pretty slow. I could have put another Pain, but it wasn't really helping me be the aggressor. It was just gonna slow me down again, which is something I didn't want. And so I looked and said, there's nothing I can really put in this to substitute this Holy Nova, and this Holy Nova's not helping me, so I was probably a bit on tilt, and I decided to put in a mind game since, you know, since standard. I mean, look at this, like, why not at least try it, you know? And the results actually weren't that bad. I actually did pretty well. I got up to rank 4, as you can see, and then I dropped down to 7 using Face Hunter because I'm not trying to get legend this season since I got it last season, but maybe next season I will. So that's pretty good. So the results, what were the results? The results actually weren't really that bad. As you can see, I kind of have a thing like under me that is showing you a lot of results. Keep in mind that there was a couple results I didn't get to record. I got a Malkorok, a Psychotron, Antonidas, and Nzoth. So those were really game changing, especially on I guess not the Malkorok, because that was when I had already won. But a lot of these were very game changing mind games, kind of. And it didn't really hurt me if I was just playing it because I had either nothing in hand. And I guess you could say that's because mind games, but honestly, I wouldn't have had anything else to do with a Holy Nova. And when it actually pulled something that's really strong, it just pretty much decided the game right there. Actually, the Antonidas is Tempo Mage. Tempo Mage has so much removal right now, so it really didn't do much. It just sat there and took a fireball, which is pretty good. But the other ones, pretty good. I know there's one that's Abusive Sergeant. I still won that game simply because that was some weird choke paladin thing, and I hadn't drawn Cthulhu yet. But eventually I did draw Cthulhu. However, it seems like mind games actually gets its value. Like, when you play random cards, you want to get value from them. You don't want... That's the reason that Arcane Missiles is played, because you know it's probably not going to hit face. And that's kind of the same thinking I have with mind games, because think about it. It takes a card from a random card from an enemy deck, I guess. Random card from an enemy deck. That's the wording. Outsider! And when you do that, what do you mulligan for? You know, you mulligan for all your low drops. As you can see, I didn't really get them here, but these are not minions. I still have a lot of high drop minions in my deck. So the chances of mind games actually getting a high costed minion isn't actually that low when you think about it. Mindgames is also really kind of good I guess, filler card. Like, I haven't drawn it yet, and I usually don't need it. It's not too bad on turn 10 unless you're playing OTK decks. That's the only problem with Mind Games. OTK decks such as the current Raging Worgen, because they don't run any high minions except for maybe Tharson, and they probably have that in their hands. So that's a problem. But other than that, and a control meta, and this guy's a Dragon Warrior, but even this guy, he has 4 really good minions that I could try to mind control, such as cool story actually. I not mind controlled. I mind gamed a Ysera. That was actually very game changing. Turn 4 Ysera, not many people can deal with that, and he wasn't able to deal with it till turn 7, and by that time I had already destroyed the guy I was playing against. So as you can see, Mind Games actually not that bad when you think about it. Of course there's gonna be those times where you get like unlucky, but I mean, that's what you get for playing high variance cards. Also, the fact that Priest right now is kind of in a bad spot. You need high variance cards to actually help out Priest, I think, which is kind of sad and bad. But I mean, this deck I'm using right now doesn't have a bad win rate. It's just it's not as good as the other decks' win rates right now. So about this deck is actually pretty well. I'm only rank 7 because I kind of face huntered my way there. Like, I went to rank 4, I was like, alright, screw this, face hunter. I mean, aggro shaman right now is better than face hunter if you want to play an aggro deck, but I mean, you have to have nostalgia sometimes. I don't know. At least face hunter was better than Secret Paladin. Also have a golden hunter that's actually not from face hunter, which makes it even more funny because now I'm gonna have people calling me out for getting a golden hunter playing face hunter when only time I played it was after rank 500 wins with the card hunter. Hitting lots of brain farts today. Thinking of excavated eviling right here because turn 8 is usually something big in this deck, especially since he doesn't have me down to 15 health, which is something big in a Dragon Warrior. Something I experimented with this deck was changing out the Doomcaller for the Harbinger, but I just found out you can pretty much stall till you get your Cthulhu. That's a pretty problem. Alright, so the question is, what do I want from this guy's deck? Do I want Grommash? And I think I'm just gonna death it because I've seen like a few guys run Sylvanas, which is kind of a interesting pick. Of course, there was that one Dragon Warrior, or I think it was a Dragon Warrior that ran Ysera, and that Mind Games was just pretty interesting. I was just like, nope, this is a good game, guys. No Mind Games this time, it seems, but I mean, you can't always rely on RNG. That's Yogg-like, and that card really needs a nerf, I think. Or at least some sort of cap, because there's no reason that you should be able to, like, with one card at least. Like, maybe if Yogg-like, like, I understand it takes spells and stuff, but like, maybe if you had like 2 10 cost cards, I could understand being able to go from way losing to actually winning now. But I don't see why you should be able to go from way losing to just winning with a 1 drop that coincides with the rest of your deck. Okay, and their spells. There we go. So there's a Mind Games here. I kind of have nothing else to play. I could Holy Nova and heal myself. I'm not gonna Doomcaller. I could Doomcaller, I don't really want to Doomcaller without the Cthulhu. Actually, Doomcaller's not that bad. Problem is he hasn't used an execute yet, and just gonna get executed, and I can't really deal with that right now. So let's just mind games. Fairy Dragon. It's pretty bad, but we always have next game. Mind games. Honestly, it's like probably showing bad for me just because I'm recording, which is kind of sad, but
Fine, I'll hear.
Ornament Medic, not too bad. That's a 4 mana cost so far, other than the